Welcome to US Coins Hub, where history meets hidden value. Today, we uncover a rare piece of American heritage, a coin that tells a story, holds mystery, and could be worth far more than its face value. So slow down, listen closely, and step into the timeless world of rare and valuable US coins. Let's dive into today's video. Top 1 today, we're exploring a coin that's not just a piece of currency, it's a slice of history. We're talking about the United States of America Kentucky State Quarter from 2001. Trust me, this coin is more than just a quarter. It has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why. The Kentucky State Quarter was part of the United States Mint's famous 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Each state had its own unique design to celebrate its history, culture, and symbols. Kentucky's quarter is no exception. On the reverse side, you'll see two thoroughbred horses galloping across the racetrack, a tribute to the Bluegrass State's proud horse racing tradition. The obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington, as seen on all quarters of the program. Now, on the surface, this may look like an ordinary collectible quarter. But what makes the 2001 Kentucky Quarter extraordinary is not just its design. It's the rarity and the minting errors that make certain examples of this coin worth a fortune. Let's talk about rarity first. Millions of these quarters were minted, yet only a few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Over the years, most have been spent, lost, or damaged, which makes finding a perfect specimen extremely difficult. Coin collectors know that condition is everything. The sharper the details, the higher the value. An uncirculated Kentucky 2001 quarter can already attract attention, but the real prize lies in the errors. Yes, errors. Minting errors can transform an everyday coin into a collector's holy grail. For the Kentucky 2001 quarter, one of the most famous errors is the double die obverse, where the image of George Washington appears doubled, creating a ghostly or shadow effect. There are also rare die cracks and variations in the lettering that make each error coin unique. These imperfections, rather than detracting from the coin, dramatically increase its value. Collectors love these quirks because they are one of a kind, telling a story that a standard quarter simply cannot. Another fascinating detail is that some Kentucky quarters were struck with slightly off-center dies or experienced unusual metal planchet anomalies. These coins are incredibly rare, and even a slight misalignment can turn a common quarter into a remarkable collectible. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that is essentially a mistake of history. This is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. So, what does all of this mean for the value of the Kentucky 2001 State Quarter? While most quarters from this series are worth just a few dollars, those that are perfectly preserved or feature rare errors are in a league of their own. The coin we're focusing on today, an uncirculated Kentucky 2001 quarter with a significant minting error, has achieved a jaw-dropping value that few would expect. Here comes the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to own this extraordinary coin, in pristine condition or with one of these rare errors, its worth could reach a staggering $87,000. Yes, you heard that right. $87,000 for a single quarter. Who would have thought that something we use every day, often overlooked and tucked away in wallets or coin jars, could hold such incredible value? This is exactly why coin collecting is not just a hobby. It's a hunt for history, rarity, and sometimes life-changing treasures. So, if you're a coin enthusiast, keep an eye out for the Kentucky 2001 State Quarter. Examine your collection carefully, look for those minting errors, and treasure the ones in uncirculated condition. This is a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide and continues to inspire excitement in the numismatic community. Top 2, we are diving into one of the most fascinating coins from the United States State Quarter series, the New Hampshire State Quarter. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but for collectors it can be a remarkable treasure. At the end of the 1990s, the United States Mint launched the historic 50 State Quarters program. The goal was simple yet brilliant: honor every state in the nation with a unique quarter design. Millions of Americans started paying closer attention to the change in their pockets, and suddenly coin collecting became exciting again for a new generation. In the year 2000, New Hampshire became one of the states honored in this famous series. The reverse side of the coin features the legendary Old Man of the Mountain, a natural rock formation that once stood proudly in the Franconia Notch State Park. For over 2 centuries, this iconic profile carved into the granite cliffs symbolized the rugged beauty and independent spirit of New Hampshire. Beneath the formation, the coin proudly displays the state motto, "Live free or die," a phrase that reflects the strong values and history of the state. On the front side, the familiar portrait of George Washington appears, just as it does on all quarters in the program. This combination of national heritage and state pride makes the New Hampshire quarter not only a piece of currency, but also a miniature work of art that represents American history at first glance. Millions of these quarters were produced, so many people assume they are all common and ordinary. But in the world of coin collecting, the smallest differences can make the biggest impact. Over time, collectors began discovering that some of the 2,000 New Hampshire quarters were struck with unusual minting errors and rare characteristics that dramatically increased their value. One of the most fascinating possibilities is the double die error. In this situation, the coin's design is stamped twice in slightly different positions, causing letters or images to appear doubled. On certain coins, the words and details around the design can look slightly shadowed or thickened. To an untrained eye, it may seem like a small flaw, but to collectors, it's a thrilling discovery. Another rare feature that collectors search for is an off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin planchet is not perfectly aligned with the minting press during production. As a result, part of the design may appear shifted, leaving a blank crescent area on the coin. These unusual mistakes are extremely scarce because most imperfect coins are caught and destroyed before leaving the mint. There are also reports of coins with die cracks, unusual surface textures, and even planchet errors where the metal composition or thickness slightly differs from the normal issue. Each of these mistakes turns a simple 25-cent coin into a unique collectible item. Condition is another powerful factor that drives value. Most quarters have been used in circulation for years, passing through thousands of hands, which causes scratches and wear. However, when a coin survives in pristine, uncirculated condition with sharp details and a bright original luster, collectors become very interested. A flawless coin preserved for decades can become extremely rare because so few remain untouched. For coin enthusiasts, the thrill comes from the hunt. Many collectors carefully inspect every quarter they receive, hoping to discover one of these rare varieties hiding in plain sight. It could be sitting in a coin jar, an old wallet, or even mixed with everyday pocket change. What makes the New Hampshire 2000 quarter especially fascinating is that it represents a piece of American heritage that no longer exists. The famous rock formation known as the Old Man of the Mountain sadly collapsed in 2003, making the image on this coin even more meaningful. Every surviving coin now serves as a tiny memorial to that legendary landmark. Because of these historical connections, rare minting errors, and the excitement among collectors, certain examples of this coin have reached astonishing prices in the collector market. When a perfectly preserved specimen appears, especially one with a striking mint error, it can attract intense attention from serious numismatists. And now comes the moment every collector loves to hear about. A rare example of the 2000 New Hampshire State Quarter, in exceptional condition and featuring a remarkable minting error, has been valued at an incredible $84,000. Yes, a single quarter that once represented only 25 cents could potentially be worth $84,000. That's the magic of coin collecting. Hidden within everyday pocket change could be a tiny piece of history waiting to be discovered. The next time you receive a quarter, take a closer look. Study the details, check the edges, and examine the design carefully. You never know when an ordinary coin might turn out to be an extraordinary treasure. Top 3, we're diving into another fascinating story from the world of American coins. Sometimes the smallest pieces of metal carry the biggest surprises, and the coin we're exploring today proves exactly that. Many people spend it without a second thought, but collectors know it can be something truly special. Today's spotlight is on the remarkable Guam Territory Quarter, a coin that has gained attention among collectors for its unique design, history, and rare variations. In 2009, the United States Mint introduced a special coin program that followed the success of the 50 state quarters program. This new series honored the District of Columbia and the U.S. territories, giving each one a chance to be represented on a quarter. One of the most interesting coins from this series was dedicated to Guam, a beautiful island in the Pacific with a rich culture and history. When you look at the reverse side of the Guam quarter, you'll immediately notice a powerful and meaningful design. The coin features the outline of the island along with a flying kokeo bird, also known as the Guam rail. This bird is extremely important to the island because it represents the effort to save a species that once faced extinction. Alongside the bird, you'll also see a traditional flying prow canoe, a symbol of the island's ancient seafaring culture and the remarkable navigation skills of the Chamorro people. These images make the coin more than just money. It becomes a small tribute to Guam's heritage, wildlife, and traditions. For collectors, coins like this are exciting because they tell stories about places and cultures that many people may never have the chance to see in person. The front side of the coin carries the well-known portrait of George Washington, the same design used on U.S. quarters for decades. While this side may look familiar, the real excitement for collectors usually comes from the reverse design and the hidden details created during the minting process. Now here's where things start to get interesting for coin hunters. Even though millions of Guam quarters were produced, only a very small number stand out because of rare minting errors and exceptional preservation. These unusual variations are what transform a common quarter into a highly desirable collectible point. One of the most talked about possibilities is the double die error. This occurs when the coin design is accidentally impressed twice by the minting die at slightly different angles. When this happens, certain letters or design elements appear doubled or thicker than normal. It's a subtle detail, but collectors who know what to look for can spot it immediately. Another fascinating rarity involves off-center strikes. If the blank metal planchet is not perfectly positioned during the striking process, the design may appear shifted to one side. Part of the coin may even remain blank, creating a dramatic and unusual appearance. Coins with this type of striking mistake are extremely rare because most are caught and removed before they ever leave the mint. Some collectors have also reported die cracks, weak strikes, and unusual surface textures on certain Guam quarters. These imperfections occur during the intense pressure of the minting process and can create small but noticeable differences between coins. While most people would overlook them, experienced collectors see these features as unique fingerprints that make a coin special. Condition plays another major role in determining value. Most quarters are heavily circulated, which means they collect scratches, dents, and worn edges over time. But occasionally, a coin survives in brilliant uncirculated condition with sharp details and bright original luster. When a rare minting error is combined with such pristine preservation, the coin suddenly becomes extremely desirable to serious collectors. This is why many numismatists carefully examine every quarter they come across. A simple coin from pocket change could potentially hide a rare variation worth far more than its face value. The Guam quarter is a perfect example of how everyday coins can become exciting discoveries. Another reason collectors love this coin is its cultural significance. Guam may be a small island, but its representation on a U.S. coin brings global attention to its history and traditions. The image of the flying prow and the endangered kokeo bird reminds people of the island's resilience and unique identity. Because of these factors, historical importance, beautiful design, rare minting errors, and exceptional condition, some examples of this coin have achieved astonishing attention in the collector market. When a rare variant appears with strong details and unusual characteristics, collectors compete fiercely to own it. And now comes the moment every coin hunter waits for. A rare example of the 2009 Guam quarter, especially one featuring a significant minting error and preserved in near-perfect condition, has been valued at an incredible $81,000. Yes, a coin that most people would spend without hesitation could actually be worth $81,000. That's the incredible mystery and excitement of coin collecting. Top 4, we're talking about one of those interesting coins, the beautiful Mississippi State Quarter. This coin was released in 2002 as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program, an ambitious project created by the United States Mint. The program honored each U.S. state with a unique quarter design, and it quickly became one of the most successful coin programs in American history. Millions of people began collecting the coins, searching for each new state release and learning about the stories behind the designs. When it was Mississippi's turn in 2002, the designers chose a symbol that represents elegance, history, and natural beauty. On the reverse side of the coin, you can see the stunning magnolia, the official state flower. The magnolia is known for its large, fragrant blossoms and graceful appearance, and it perfectly represents the southern charm and natural heritage of Mississippi. The detailed engraving on the coin shows delicate petals surrounded by leaves, creating a design that collectors instantly admired on the front side. Like all quarters in the series, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington. This classic image has appeared on U.S. quarters for decades and connects every state quarter to the nation's founding history. While this side remains mostly the same across the series, the reverse designs are what make each coin unique and exciting for collectors at first glance. The Mississippi quarter may appear to be just another common coin. After all, millions were minted and released into circulation. But in the world of coin collecting, rarity is not always about how many coins were produced. Sometimes it's about the tiny details, unusual mistakes during minting, and the condition of the coin that make all the difference. Collectors began noticing that certain 2002 Mississippi quarters displayed interesting minting errors. One of the most exciting possibilities is the double die error. This happens when the coin design is accidentally stamped more than once during production, slightly misaligned each time. The result is a subtle doubling effect that can sometimes be seen in the letters or design details. To many people, it might look like a small flaw, but to collectors, it can be a highly desirable rarity. Another unusual feature that sometimes appears is an off-center strike. If the metal blank used to make the coin is not perfectly aligned in the minting press, the design may shift to one side. This can create a coin where part of the design is missing or where a blank curved space appears along the edge. These coins are extremely rare because most errors are caught during the minting process before the coins leave the mint. Some collectors also search for die cracks and die chips on Mississippi quarters. These occur when the minting die develops tiny fractures after striking thousands of coins. The cracks can leave raised lines or bumps on the coin's surface, creating unique patterns that make each error coin different from the rest. But even without dramatic minting mistakes, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Most coins in circulation become worn and scratched over time. Edges become dull, surfaces lose their shine, and fine details begin to fade. However, when a coin survives in brilliant, uncirculated condition, with sharp lines and original mint luster, collectors become very interested. Imagine finding a Mississippi quarter that looks almost exactly as it did the day it was struck at the mint. The petals of the magnolia appear crisp, the lettering is clear and bold, and the surface shines with a bright metallic glow. Coins preserved in this kind of condition are far more difficult to find than most people realize. For many collectors, the excitement comes from searching through everyday change. A coin jar at home, an old piggy bank, or even loose coins in a drawer could hide a rare piece waiting to be discovered. The Mississippi quarter is one of those coins that encourages collectors to look more closely at the details. Over time, as collectors study these coins and rare variations become better known, certain examples begin attracting serious attention in auctions and private collections. When a coin combines an unusual minting error with exceptional condition, its value can rise dramatically beyond its original 25-cent face value. Now here comes the moment that makes every coin hunter curious. Among the rarest and most remarkable examples of the 2002 Mississippi State Quarter, especially those with significant minting errors and outstanding preservation, collectors have seen values climb to an astonishing level that a single rare Mississippi quarter from 2002 has been valued at an incredible $78,000. Yes, a simple coin that most people might overlook could actually be worth $78,000. That's the incredible mystery and excitement that makes coin collecting such a thrilling hobby. Top 5, we are taking a closer look at a remarkable coin from American history, the Massachusetts State Quarter. This coin was released in the year 2000 as part of the historic 50 State Quarters program, a project created by the United States Mint to celebrate the heritage of every state in the nation. The program quickly became one of the most popular coin collecting events in modern history. People across the country began checking their pocket change, searching for each new design as it entered circulation. When Massachusetts was honored in the series, the designers chose a symbol deeply connected to the early history of America. The reverse side of the coin features Minuteman, a colonial militia soldier standing ready with his musket. Behind him appears the outline of the state of Massachusetts. This powerful image represents the courage and determination of the citizens who stood up for independence during the American Revolutionary War. The Minutemen were ordinary people who were prepared to defend their communities at a moment's notice. Their bravery became a defining part of American history, and this coin captures that spirit in a small but meaningful piece of metal. The detailed design of the soldier, the musket, and the surrounding elements make the Massachusetts quarter one of the most admired coins in the state quarter series. On the front side of the coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington, which has appeared on American quarters for decades. While this side remains consistent across the series, collectors often focus their attention on the reverse design and the tiny details that can reveal rare varieties. At first glance, the Massachusetts quarter might seem common. Millions were produced and distributed across the country. However, in the world of coin collecting, rarity is often hidden in the smallest details. Certain coins from this issue have become highly desirable because of unusual minting errors and exceptional preservation. One of the most exciting discoveries for collectors is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice at slightly different angles during the minting process. When this happens, some of the letters or details may appear doubled or slightly blurred. For experienced collectors, spotting this kind of doubling can turn an ordinary quarter into a prized find. Another rare variation involves off-center strikes. If the metal blank used to create the coin is not perfectly positioned in the minting press, the design may shift away from the center. This can leave part of the coin blank while the rest of the design appears pushed toward one side. Coins with this dramatic error are extremely rare and often attract strong interest from collectors. There are also cases where die cracks develop in the minting equipment after striking thousands of coins. These cracks can leave thin, raised lines on the coin's surface. While most people might consider these marks imperfections, collectors see them as unique signatures of the minting process that make a coin stand out. Beyond errors, the condition of a coin plays a major role in determining its value. Most quarters in circulation become worn after years of use. The surface may develop scratches, the edges can become smooth, and the fine details of the design begin to fade. However, when a coin is preserved in brilliant, uncirculated condition with sharp details and bright original luster, it becomes far more desirable. Imagine finding a Massachusetts quarter that still shines as if it were just struck at the mint. The Minuteman's figure appears crisp and detailed. The lettering remains bold, and the metal surface reflects light beautifully. Coins like this are difficult to find because so many have been used in everyday transactions for years. This is why experienced coin collectors carefully inspect their change. Sometimes a rare coin hides in the most unexpected places, a drawer at home, a forgotten coin jar, or even the change from a store purchase. Discovering a rare variety among ordinary coins is one of the most exciting parts of the hobby. The Massachusetts quarter also holds a special place in the hearts of collectors because of its connection to the early story of the United States. The image of the Minuteman reminds us of the courage and determination that shaped the nation. Holding this coin is like holding a tiny reminder of that powerful moment in history. As time passes and collectors continue studying these coins, certain rare examples begin to stand out. When a Massachusetts quarter appears with a significant minting error and is preserved in outstanding condition, its value can rise dramatically far beyond its original 25-cent face value. And now comes the moment that surprises many people. Among the rarest and most remarkable examples of the 2000 Massachusetts state quarter, collectors have seen values reach an astonishing level. One exceptional specimen has been valued at an incredible $75,000. Yes, a small quarter that most people might overlook could actually be worth $75,000. That is the incredible magic of coin collecting, where history, rarity, and careful observation can transform everyday change into a remarkable treasure. The next time you receive a quarter, don't spend it too quickly. Take a closer look, examine the details, and see if something unusual catches your eye. You never know when a simple coin could turn out to be an extraordinary discovery. Thank you for joining this journey into the world of rare coins. Keep exploring, keep searching, and happy collecting.